Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. Druid is having a great time in the current Hearthstone meta after the miniset, the arrival of Yogg-Saron Unleashed, which Druid can pretty easily make cause 0 mana has been phenomenal for the class. First we had Miracle Druid, Auctioneer was banned. Hey, no worries, new win condition. Then we had the Jailer Druid, Tony Jailer Druid, Jailer was banned. Hey, no worries, new win condition. The current win condition is this one. We have Ignis the Eternal Flame, and we have Photographer of Fizzle. Photographer of Fizzle has made an appearance in multiple decks during the months that it's been available in standard format, but now there's finally a deck where it's actually really good. Because the way this works is that Druid of course wants to make a 0-cost Yogg-Saron to survive, and then get some weapons from Ignis, use some weapon buffs, and boom, just deal a bunch of damage. And now you want to have Photographer of Fizzle so that you can make copies of Yogg-Saron and copies of Ignis, maybe even copy of Ionar, maybe copies of some of the attack buffs that you have. So then you will be able to use them again so that you will have enough resources to go through even the sturdiest of defenses. Of course, sometimes that's not possible, sometimes you need to just use your Yogg, but if you have to use a single Yogg and you don't have a backup Yogg, then, well, then you need to hope that one Yogg is going to be enough in the matchup. So as long as Yogg-Saron is available, Druid will just be relevant, Druid can ramp, and then Druid can do some really strong win condition, and the win condition can change. Blizzard can ban some, nerf some, but as long as Druid can find an alternative, then it's just going to keep going. As for Ignis the Eternal Flame, I generally prefer to put Ignis into the snapshot. Some people like to put the weapon in the snapshot, but I like having 2 attempts to get a really good weapon. And the weapon itself, when I was playing Control Warrior, I typically always went for the 1-mana weapon, because 1-mana weapon, if you were able to get Wind Fury, you got so many attack buffs from your armor that the Wind Fury was always an OTK. That's not quite the case with Druid, because with Druid, while you have stuff, you have like Harmonic Mood, which can become a Dissonant Mood, you have Pounces, you have Rakes, but you can't buff the weapon as much. So typically I prefer the 10-mana weapon, because 10-mana weapon is more influential even if everything else doesn't line up correctly. But sometimes going for that 1-mana weapon can also be a great option, especially if you are able to like fizzle your Ignis and you can use the 1-mana weapon to survive, and stuff like that can happen. Once you have survived the opponent's initial assault with your Yogg and you have generated your weapon with Ignis, then some other things, the attack buffs. Solar Eclipse can be really useful with the attack buffs. The use of Solar Eclipse is one of the more interesting things about this deck. Often you will use that on Dissonant Mood. Whenever Harmonic switches into Dissonant, then that's +8 attack with Solar Eclipse. You can use it on Pounds. And in early game, in mid game, you typically use it on Frostlotus Seedling. You preferably want to have that as a Blossom, so it's draw 2 cards, gain 10 armor. You Eclipse that, you draw 4 cards and gain 20 armor, and that's also a huge thing about your survivability. Consequently, in your mulligan, you generally want to keep 2 cards. You want to keep Embrace of Nature and you want to keep Frostlotus Seedling. Embrace of Nature, you want to forge that, and you preferably want that one to draw you a Nourish, so that with Nourish you can ramp up and draw more cards, and that's just going to set you up for a great game. And Frostlotus Seedling, you want that early because you want that to blossom, and then you might even be able to Solar Eclipse the blossom and then go on from there. So these 2 are the cards that you look for in the mulligan, and the rest of the game, the pieces just tend to fall in place eventually. Play a lot of spells, get your Yogg, get your Ignis, sometimes your Ionar as well, some weapons, some attack buffs, and win games. And this is what it all looks like in action. The class, but not with these cards, nope. Lost the 50-pack offer, yeah. They were limited time offers and then they're gone. It's actually a Control Priest. Oh my goodness, I hate playing against Control Priest. Well, I suppose we need to gain 4 attack now. And draw a couple of cards. Let's take away some of the armor there. Let's do that. Got a new offer for Diamond. Yeah, so they last for some days and then they're gone. Ooh, the Embrace. Nice, let's forge that. Grab that nourish. Wee. Because the beam druid. Yeah, that's much weaker. It's actually not even viable. It's like below 50%. And it is funny when it works. I think we'll take some random spells now. That's okay. Use that to kill the minion. Boom. 7 cards in hand, we go to 8 cards. Then we play this, but I can play a Pounce on the same turn, so I won't be overdrawing. Nerubian Vizier. Alright. There's Blood Death Knight. Wonderful. Sometimes those also make an appearance. 8 cards in your hand, I play this and I go to 10 cards. Yes, that's perfectly acceptable. I can do that. Ramp up. Go 10 cards. And now I do need to get rid of a card here, so... But I can also... Aquatic form card that I can't actually play right now. Like that seedling there. So now I only have 9 cards in hand, so now it's all good. No, it's all good, it's all good. I have some lashers. So that they can bait some dirty rats, maybe. I want Yogg and Ignis into my snapshot. Let's see. Seedling, I know. And it's a little bit full. Well, that's not bad. We can do that. Everything a little bit cheaper. Another seedling. Maybe just an innervate. 10 cards in hand. We'll draw the nourish now. Don't have to forge it. Let's use the game mana crystals. It's totally fine. Okay. I need to find the Ignis. 2 turns until that one blossoms. I want to snapshot the Pounces, the Ignis and the Yogg. Useless in this matchup. We can trade that. There's my Ignis. We're going to create a snapshot. I don't need the contaminated lashers into my snapshot. I'm going to just play the lashers here. So I don't want those in my snapshot. Now I have the stuff that I want in my snapshot in my hand, so now we make the snapshot. And we'll play the Ignis for the first 10 mana weapon. That one has Wind Fury, which is wonderful. And I guess we summon some 8-cost minions with that. 7 cards in hand at the moment. Seems fine. Alright. They could pull my Yogg with a Dirty Rat at the moment. Shadow Court Distort. Alright. I see. So let's go. Great amazing time. Lambda with 20 damage. It's fine, it's fine. I'm going to innervate the solar eclipse. It's going to give me some bounces. Why not another bounce as well? I'm gonna do one Yogg now. This Yogg can clear this board. And then we're going to hit the priest in the face a little bit. Summon some 8 drops. Like this. And for next turn we have draw 2 cards, gain 10 armor, doubled. So if we're able to hit the snapshot, then that would mean that we get the bounces from the snapshot and then we just deal a lot of damage again. Ah, they had the Rustrat Viper. That was wonderful. For them, I mean. Obviously a little sad for me. I could draw my deck, but what good would that do? I think drawing 4 has to be enough. I'll ask the priest to answer this. I'm going to solar eclipse that blossom. Snapshot, and we're Ignis. Now I messed it up a little bit. I didn't manage to find Wind Fury. That's a bit of an issue, I suppose. Priest should have ways to remove everything. Some random stuff. Good random stuff. Good random stuff. I know Priest has another Rustrat Viper in hand. So that's a bit of an issue. And they are 27, so I guess the Priest will actually win this fight. I'm actually going to run out of damage. Well, we need a rake. That's my rake. Need Great Mace. I'm going to innervate the rake on that one. I'll rake over there. I'll play my Yogg. Yogg will steal that minion. We're pushing face with everything we've got here. But Priest should be able to clear the board and remove the weapon. That should be possible thanks to Law of Everlasting giving the discount. Both things can be done by the Priest. That's the problem. They need to be able to do both, but I think they can because Law of Everlasting gives them the ability to Whirlpool. Yes. They would not have had enough mana without Law of Everlasting, but with that they did. And now I don't have 13 damage here. I do not have 13 damage, no. Yeah. Priest will actually win. Unless I'm able to plant the evidence something. No, that was useless. Very, very useless, in fact. Yeah, Priest is going to have just enough to stabilize. They had to have the Whirlpool in hand, but I mean, it was always possible that they do. Well, they still only have 3 cards, so there's still a small chance that they actually can't find useful things here. And now that I can eclipse the Dissonant Mood, then I might just have lethal. Small chance. Small chance, but it exists. Ah, they were able to find good stuff, just enough. So now I only have 8, 10, 12, I have 13, but they got to 17, so... we'll do what we can, which is to Solar Eclipse the Dissonant Mood. And then I can draw the Planted Evidence, which could give me more damage. So this would have to give me more damage. Gain that much damage this attack this turn. Well, yes, please, we can do that. Then I will pounce, and I will pounce, and I will innervate, and I will innervate. And then I will Forbidden Fruit for that much attack this turn, and then we actually win. What a great display of skill. That's Hearthstone. They have the same cards. Well, of course they do. I can play that Nourish next turn, when I use this to make everything cheaper. Now I have Nourish coming next turn. So an early ramp, early draw. They can coin Nourish next turn too, so... so I don't put any faith in those tweets. It cards in hand, yeah, we can draw another 2. Or... drawing another 2 should be fine. I'm just contemplating whether I want to draw 4 and gain 20 armor. But I think draw 2 is fine. 9 cards in hand. Alright. Going with this. Working, getting towards that snapshot. Both have played exactly the same cards. Embrace, Gift, Nourish. Everything has been identical so far. Rusted Viper in the snapshot would also be quite alright. I want damage, Ignis, Yogg, Viper, something like that into the snapshot. Double Nourish. Well, turns out that they have even more good stuff than I do. There's my Yogg, 10 cards in hand. Aquatic Form time. Rusted Viper is going to be useful for the snapshot. Let's draw that now because it's at the bottom. I need to get it away from the bottom of the deck. Then I will need... I need something good from this. That's not great. We can try to Aquatic Form into something. Okay, now it's much better that we could Aquatic Form into Ignis. Yes, why not? Why not? 10 cards in hand, my hand is full. So I want to get rid of some useless stuff, and then I want to take a snapshot. We can actually use this, right? We can actually use that. And we can use this. And then I can use this to take the snapshot here. That's a fine snapshot I've got there. 8 cards in hand, and alright, let's go. So then we're going to forge the first 10 cost weapon. And see where we can go from there. No snapshot of the weapon. Well, you can snapshot the Ignis or you can snapshot the weapon. If you snapshot the Ignis, you roll twice. So if you fail to get a good roll on the first time, you get a second try. Of course, if you get a good roll on the first try, then you double that good roll. So it's like double or nothing. Both are options. Yes. You can do either. You can do it either way. They will have the weapon next turn. I have a Rustred Viper to remove the weapon. They don't have a snapshot of the weapon, so I think we will be fine. Depends on how good the weapon is. Ooh, the mana crystals. Yes, please. Mana crystals. And the weapon. 10 cost weapon. With Wind Fury. And after hero attacks, gain 8 armor. Sounds nice. Then I want that. I have 8 cards in hand. That's okay. I want to kill that Ignis. Alright. My next turn will be a defensive one. They were able to snapshot the weapon though. Okay. Then my next turn is not a defensive one. It's an offense. It's actually a turn where I attack. Let's find out. Do they have Viper in hand? And how good was the weapon that they got? A 5 cost weapon. That was tremendously surprising. That was tremendously surprising, I have to say. But they might have a Rustred Viper there. Eight cards in hand. We can go to 9 cards in hand. Let's spread the word here. One of these can trade that away. Guess we're just smacking the face a little bit here. 9 cards in hand, alright. So, the way they have played, I think they may have the Rustred Viper. But if they don't, I guess they are in quite some trouble now. Two, 3, 4, 5 mana.
Time waits for no one.
And then the snapshot. Is that enough to win? Eclipse the Pounces. harmonic mood. I'm gonna play the Yogg on the board. Snapshot. It gives me another Eclipse. Into dissonant mood. Into pounds, and yeah, that's enough to win. So, like, that's why you really want to set up stuff like pounces and stuff like that into your snapshot. So that if you have the weapon in hand, if you manage to pick up the Wind Fury for the weapon, and then you get all that bonus damage from the snapshot and boom. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.